The next thing I wanted to look at was hierarchical or hierarchy security. Um, so basically in Dataverse, we have two kind of hierarchy security. One is manager and one is position. So if you click here, let's bring it up. If I click on hierarchy security here under users and permissions, we have two different ones. So by default, it is not enabled, but you can enable it when you choose which one you want. So you have manager hierarchy here, and then you also have position hierarchy here. So we can start with the manager hierarchy, but basically think of a manager hierarchy by looking at this image here. So you have a CEO. Under the CEO, you have the VP of sales. Under the VP of sales, you have sales managers, and then you have the sales, right? So the VP of sales is the immediate subordinate to the CEO. The rest are not. And for the VP of sales, you have sales managers that are immediate subordinates, but the salespeople are not immediate subordinates. So with manager hierarchy, basically on top of the security role that you have, so whatever security role that you have, on top of that, for your immediate subordinate, as you can see with the VP and the CEO here, you will get all the privileges except for delete. So you're not able to delete their records, but you will get all other privileges for your immediate subordinate. But for the other, like for example, sales and managers, for those ones, you only get the read privilege. So you can read all the records that they own, but that's all the privilege that you have. But for your immediate subordinate, you get all the privileges, read, create, write, and so on, but not a delete privilege. And same goes for the VP of sales. So for his immediate subordinates, which are the sales managers, he gets all the privileges on top of his security role or her security role, except for delete. But for anything below that, you only get a read access. So that's how manager hierarchy is. And manager hierarchy uses a lookup. So basically, the lookup is it looks up to your manager. So for example, if I go back here, before I enable this, like I could go to users first. If I go to users here, and these are my users. So if I click on James Bond, what it does is first it looks at the manager. So James Bond reports to me. So I am the manager here. Basically, as the manager of James Bond, I have all the privileges except for delete. And this is when I say a lookup, it looks a lookup attribute. It looks up to see who the manager is to give this privileges except for delete. So that's how it works. And to enable it, very simple. You just go here. You just go to users and permissions. You go to hierarchy security, and then you just click on enable manager hierarchy, and you can configure it. Basically, you can go here and configure it. There's the people that you have, and you can configure it. And also, just so that you know, in here you can choose to exclude some entities or some tables. So it says here that select tables to include or exclude. So for example, if I want to exclude the account table, I could just click on this one, and this one, the account table, will not be included in the manager hierarchy security model. So as it says here, tables with a check against them are included in the hierarchy, but tables without the check in them will not be included. And also just keep in mind that manager hierarchy only works if you're in the same business unit. So I have James Bond reporting to me, or James Bond reporting to his manager. It only works if you're in the same business unit. If you're in a different business unit, manager hierarchy doesn't work. You have to be in the same business unit. And then the next thing that you have is with position hierarchy here. Position hierarchy is a little different in the sense that it is more flexible. So it is done by positional. Basically, it's different to managers because you have positions. So for example, I could create here a new position. I could just say I could call it CEO. And I could save and close that. And then I could create another one. I could call this directors, and they will report to the CEO, and I will save and close. And I can create another one here. I'll just say representative. So I'll say reps, and they report to directors. And then I'll save and close that. So in here you have, this is a positional hierarchy. You have reps that report to directors, and you have directors that report to CEOs. The good thing here is that it doesn't matter what business units they are in, as long as they are part of the same organization. They could be in different business units. You will still have access to these records depending on your position. So basically, anyone with a higher position has access to the records of someone that is in a lower position than they are. So a CEO has access to a director's records, and a director has access to the representative's records. So that is what the positional hierarchy is. Another thing I wanted to cover, which is very important, is column level security. Column level security, or it used to be called field level security, is, for example, if I go to my, I'll just go to my application here. I'll go to my app and I'll display it. I just wanted to show you how that actually looks like. So, for example, let's say I wanted to go to my accounts and I want to go to Commonwealth, my Combank account. And as you can see here, there is ABN, and it does have the key here. That's because I have enabled a column level security. But you also see here annual revenue and also number of employees. Let's say this because when you enable a read access or read privilege for your users on an account or on a table, on an entity, it basically allows them to read all the columns or all the attributes as well. So they're able to see everything. But then what do you do if you have a sensitive column, sensitive attribute, like maybe credit card numbers or social security numbers or annual revenue numbers? Anything that is sensitive that you don't want the users to have access to, how do you prevent them from having access to that? And the way you do that is by doing column level security. And I'll show you how that looks like. So I, as the administrator, can see everything because administrators have access to everything. But I do not want James Bond, who's a user, to have access to annual revenue, number of employees, or also the ABN number, the ABN account number. So I don't want James Bond to see this field here. So what you do is you come back here. I'll go to my solution. Just click on solution, expense management, and I'll go to account. You click on account, you click on columns, and what do you say? So ABN number, you just click on it. I've already done that previously. I just want to show you. So you'll go on advanced options. And as you can see that it is enabled for column security. So that's done. The other one that I wanted to do was annual revenue. Yeah, so annual revenue here, I will click on it. And I will go to advanced options. And I'll enable it for column level security. And I'll save it. And I could do the same thing with, I think it was employee numbers as well. Number of employees. So what I can do is I can number of employees here, I can click on it. Now just go to advanced because it's not that hard to do, and then just enable it and then you save. Now what you want to do before you publish this is you want to go back to your solution. Just go on solution, go on your expense management solution, click on new because you do need to create a column level security profile. And then just go down to security here and it's a column security profile. And I'll say restrict access to employees, or just say users. And then you say save. And then you have, so basically I have number of employees, I have the annual revenue, and I also have the ABN number as well that I want to prevent. You can do that for a team. So if you have arranged your users in teams, you could do that, and then you put them in a team, and then you could add the team here, or you could do it for individual users. So I'll just do it for individual users here because I haven't made a team yet, and I'll add here, and I will say James Bond. Yeah. So, and if I go to the column permission here, James Bond is unable to access basically everything that's here in this column level security. And now as you can see here, it says update not allowed, read not applicable. So read is not allowed, update is not allowed, create is not allowed. You can edit that. You can edit that. So for example, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense to allow a read access, but then to not allow a read access, but then to allow an update access. That's just not it. But what I can try to do is, so with the ABN number here, I just want to show you. I will edit this one, so you can change this as well. So I'll go edit. I don't want them to be able to read it. I don't want them to be able to update it, but I want them to be able to create it when they create an account, for example. So I'll save that. I'll just refresh it, and you can see it is allowed to create. So James Bond should be able to create it, but not read it. And James Bond should not be allowed to see any of this. So if I go back here now, I could just say publish all customization. And just to show you what I'm going to do is I will log out from Mussie account, and I'll log into James Bond account. And as you can see, I have logged into James Bond account just right here. So that's James Bond. And what I will do is I will go here to my app. As you can see, it's also James Bond. So I do not want James Bond to be able to see the ABN or the annual revenue or the employee number. So if I click on Facebook here on this account, as you can see, there's this asterisk here. Basically, whatever is in there, you're not able to see it because I have created a column level security to make sure that James Bond is unable to access that. James Bond can access the record, but the columns within that record, some attributes he's unable to access. So, and also with the annual revenue, as you can see, there's the asterisk here. And then also there is asterisk on the number of employees. So James Bond is unable to access that. And also if I click here, even to create, he's unable to create because I didn't allow him to create. But what can James Bond do? So if, let's say I want to create a new account, I can click here. See, I can edit the numbers. So he can create the numbers, and I'll just put a name there. I'll just call it NZ2. So as you can see, he is able to 55567, and I'll save it. So he's able to create the numbers. So when, example, he gets a call to create an account, he's able to create it, but he's unable to access it after he's unable to see it. So basically, that's how you do security level, a column level security. I hope you've learned something from these videos in terms of security roles, hierarchy security, and column level security. If you have any questions, just write them down in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching.